We can if we need to.
Okay.
Hey guys, Mike and
Hi.
Marissa,
We're here.
and we wanted to record a quick introductory video so that if there are any of you that don't know us or aren't familiar with us, you got a chance to learn about us, but also to tell you guys basically what to expect in this group. As you can tell by now, it's not a traditional group where we're meeting every single week and studying a curriculum, although there may be aspects of that type of more traditional, more conventional small group that we're going to add. So there are a couple that we've looked at that we really like, actual curriculums or maybe videos on Right Now Media. But and there are plenty of scriptures that we've dug into that we've also heard in the past that we'll share with you guys. And but we wanted to record this video so that we could do really accomplish two things. First of all, tell you why we created the group and why, you know, essentially why you guys are here and what we're excited about. But then also what you can expect. So do you want to give anything before we go into notes?
No,
We have
we're
notes.
just really excited for you guys to be
Over
here, and we're really thankful you guys wanted to go on this journey with us.
Yeah, number one, we are so thankful that you guys signed up for our group. You're probably still wondering what the heck's going on, like why this group. So we're gonna get into some of that. So I'll start. It was kind of an idea that was offered to me by Scott and Kelly, and something that I felt really excited about. I've been a personal trainer for over 10 years. I've been in the fitness industry. Marissa and I are both engaged in a lot of fitness type things, and so it's something that I'm passionate about, that's near and dear to my heart, and just one of the gifts that God's given me that I wanted to extend to you guys and hopefully add value. So one of the reasons that we created this group, that I ended up going through with it, is that something that's common with all of my clients, or that even with people that I even talk to on a regular basis that aren't my clients, we all know that health and fitness is important, but you know, a lot of us don't know how to get to the next point, or you know, we find ourselves just kind of wondering, man, am I just kind of at a plateau with my fitness goals, or man, I've really kind of lost myself. How do I get back to square one, or how do I even get here? And so hopefully by the end of this group, we don't have a tangible plan about how to get to the end of where we're trying to go, but you know, we did start with asking everybody about what their fitness and health goals are, because that's going to help us kind of steer the material that we cover over the next several weeks. We hope that through all of this, you guys are going to gain some of that understanding. So maybe it's some nutrition ideas, maybe it's some ideas about your exercise. You know, for example, one of the guys in our group, Steven, he's hitting it hard. He goes to Orange Theory, which if you guys don't know about Orange Theory, they basically require that you keep your heart rate up at a certain level. So he's training hard, he's hitting it multiple times a week. You might think from the outside looking in that there's not much that he can add to his routine. He's killing it, he looks great, he feels great, he's, you know, maybe in the best shape of his life. But there are still some areas that he could, you know, look at or pay attention to. There might still be some tiny things that he can focus on. And so whether you're at Steven's level and you're training a ton, or if you're just getting up off the couch and you haven't trained at all, and you know all these words are foreign to you, then we're gonna try to, that's what we've prayed about, add value to you in wherever you're at, wherever we can meet you, and essentially help you to go.
Yeah, and I'm here to kind of give the same kind of guidance to the ladies. I've been a triathlete and a swimmer, collegiate swimmer, and then now I just work out with Mike for fun, if you call it fun, all the time.
She shows me up.
Sometimes. So I'm here to just make you guys feel like, you know, you're not afraid to lift weights, or you're not afraid to go into a gym confidently, or you feel excited to go to a group class, or maybe it's just changing the way that you eat for a woman, or for you know, your stage of life, because it's very different than how your husband's eating, or how your parents are eating, or how your kids are eating even. And so it is something that I have an extensive background and I've researched as well. I'm not a personal trainer, but I do train specifically for my goals, and I always have Mike as a backup, and he's very, very knowledgeable. So we're gonna get you guys.
She knows what she's talking about. She knows. And so a little bit about my specific background. So I have been a personal trainer for just over 10 years, but I've also achieved a master's level of education in exercise science, and I've trained clients in every aspect of what we would consider the fitness industry. Couch to 5K, like never trained, or maybe you have a serious ailment or an injury and you're recovering from that, all the way to the opposite side of the spectrum. I've trained collegiate athletes, not swimmers, but baseball players, and actually at the university I was working with all of the athletes there, but specifically I was exclusively in charge of the baseball team. So one more thing about why this group. We wanted to create an atmosphere where it fostered learning about health and wellness and education, not just exercise, not just workouts, but all areas. We really want to stretch your mind, your perspective about what it means to be healthy, well, fit, those types of things, and small, tiny things you could potentially change in your life to help better your health and fitness. And also, we've got notes here. And also a place where you can seek guidance and be encouraged. So where I kind of lost my train of thought is, I bounce back and forth between my experience with clients and then also what I'm trying to communicate to an individual. And one thing that I found that's extremely important is your environment, your atmosphere, where you operate. So your home life, your work life, your after work life, your weekend life, that's what largely determines how you eat, sleep, act, etc. So you go to church, you hang out with church people, you're more likely to follow Christian principles or be positive. You hang out with, a biker gang, if you will, your stereotypical biker gang. I'm not against riding motorcycles, but, you're going to start wearing, leather jackets and, grow your hair out, and you get the point. So not that any of that's good or bad, it's just that your environment largely determines how you act. But I'll take that one step further. Your environment is a lot like what Pastor Scott talks about with culture. So your environment largely determines your culture. And so what a lot of us do subconsciously, I'm aware of this, it's easy to me because I'm aware of this all the time. I pay attention to clients that are kind of suffocated by their environment. But what a lot of us don't pay attention to is it subconsciously determines and almost overwhelms all of these other things that we want to do. So a lot of us find ourselves in situations where we want to change, we want to do the right thing, like choose the right foods, but we don't understand the influence that all those outside things have on our decisions. So, we're going to get to all of that. We're going to send out a schedule, which is something we'll get into our expectations here next, but we're going to send out a schedule of events that we'll host throughout the semester, the course. Some of them will be women's only, some men's only, some for family, some for the entire group. And those events are geared toward trying to influence all of those things that we just talked about. So,
good news is we're not going to give you a strict schedule that you have to be at all the events or you have to work out every day or you have to do anything. It's kind of a loose fitting but also very very fluid kind of environment. We just want you guys to focus on your one goal, growing towards Christ and growing towards fitness and having a community where you can feel supported in your fitness goals. Which
is also something that we'll get into regarding your expectations as far as what your experience in this small group will look like. So what can you expect? There are 4 things that you can expect from this group. So this is kind of our curriculum, if you will. All right, so what can you expect in this group? There are 4 things that you can expect. First of all, you can probably expect some goofy pictures of Leo. We actually had to take a break after recording the first half of this video because Leo was doing something goofy and we had to take care of it. But we hope that you fall in love with our dog. That's what we really hope to
gain out of this whole group.
So 4 things that you can expect. Number 1, we hope that you grow. We pray, and we have prayed. We prayed over each of you every single day since we started this group officially on Sunday, that you grow closer to God. And you might be wondering, well, how can I grow closer to God through fitness, blah, blah, blah. Well, one thing I like to explain to people, especially with my clients, is your success in fitness, or let's say your fitness discipline, is no different than your spiritual discipline. So if you wake up each morning and you go to the gym and you do something and you progress further, like one step further, like this is a super simple, not accurate example, but let's say you go to the gym and you do 1 push-up, and that's all you do, and the next day you go and you do 2 push-ups, 3 push-ups the next day, and you make that a habit. Eventually you're doing hundreds of push-ups in a workout. You get the point. It's no different than your spiritual discipline. So we did the 21 days of prayer several weeks ago, corporately through the church. Each day you had something that you did for 15 minutes. You read, you prayed over certain things, you worshiped, etc. Well, you do that each and every day. You establish a discipline, a habit, and after several weeks, several months, you find yourself closer to God. You find yourself more spiritually disciplined. And so this is something that I've been able to help people work on. What you do physically is more representative of the tangible work that you do each day, meaning you put in physical labor to change your physique, feel better, have more energy, accomplish whatever you're trying to accomplish. You can see the fruits of your labor physically more readily than any other area in your life that I know of. Unless you're in like carpentry and you're like building a house, you can see that immediately. I love helping people to connect the dots between that and intangible areas in their life, like their spiritual discipline or their mentality or their self-confidence or things like that. And so, number one, we pray, it's our prayer that you will grow closer to God through this experience. Maybe that's through developing friendships that you didn't have before, or a support system that you didn't have before, or maybe it's tangibly you and your relationship with God. Mm-hmm. Number two, we really just want to help you guys move one step forward in your fitness and health goals. Now, why one step? It seems like we'd want to get you to losing 50 pounds or like a million different goals that you have set for yourself. One step, one change is so much easier to do than 45 changes. And so if your one goal is to lose one pant size or to, begin an exercise program or eat less sugar or things like that, quit soda, it's something that you have been trying to do for a long time, that it's been a real struggle for you, and you just need that motivation, that accountability. And even if we can just get you that one step, this group will be successful to us, because it's really important for us to just start you guys in the right direction, just because once you see that change and once you feel how good you feel, and once you get that momentum, you'll be unstoppable, and that's what we want. Yeah, we also want to be realistic. So anytime we commit to another day of the week or another project that we're working on, that's adding more to your plate. And one thing that's very, very true about achieving your health and wellness goals is that you have to take into account everything else that you have committed to in your life. And again, I want to add something and kind of piggyback off what Marissa just said, is we want to be realistic. We don't want to add a ton more to your plate. I know some of you are a little bit apprehensive. You're like, well, we committed to this fitness group. What all does that entail? I really need to know before I get committed, because I have so much else going on in my life. Well, we have to be realistic about that too. Marissa and I have commitments. You have commitments. You guys have families and everything. So we want to be realistic about what we can accomplish in the next several weeks, which is also something that we want to help you guys understand, what you can realistically accomplish when you're putting in X amount of work and you have a specific amount of time. How much can you really move forward in whatever your goal is? Mm-hmm. Number three, which kind of, I'll go ahead and talk about that because it kind of segues into, Marissa and I don't necessarily have the capacity to influence you as much as we would like. So we are going to employ something, a very effective strategy that we've used in our own health and fitness, which is an accountability. We're going to leave some of these bloopers in the video, but an accountability group. And so with this being kind of a non-traditional small group, we thought of ways that we could really influence you guys in the best way possible. And so we have created we've established small groups within our small group. It's a rather big group. We have over 20 people signed up for this group, or maybe right at 20, over 20 with us. And some others that aren't currently attending High Point that want to be a part of our fitness small group. Within those groups, we've established accountability partners, if you will, groups of 3 that you will communicate with on a regular basis. And we'll have some, marching orders or expectations that we have for you guys, and we'll communicate we'll communicate those groups after this video. We do have a couple deliverables for you after this video, but we've established basically your own small group experience within this small group. And what we hope is that those groups allow you to be influenced, but also connect with others more deeply than we would if it was just Marissa and I kind of communicating to you guys, or just us one-on-one. You hear this in church services, you hear this from Pastor Scott and Kelly, but I'm sure you guys are encountering this in your own reading, your own practice. There's so much power in a group. There's so much more power when it's not just you on your own. It's you and one other, you and 2 other. And so we really want to employ those spiritual principles in our group. And last but not least, you want to talk about the event?
Yeah, so our goal and our hope and our desire for this group is that we can all work towards a common goal as well as our individual goals.
This is your fourth expectation. So, first of all, number one, we want you to grow closer to God. Number two, we want to help you move one step further, just like Pastor Scott and Kelly say. What is your next step in your health and fitness? Number three, you're going to have your own small group experience, your accountability group, if you will, that you'll communicate with on a regular, hopefully daily basis. But number four, this is the big one. We have an event planned for everyone, and that is...
It is a mud run. That was beautiful. It's a mud run, and I know mud run sounds really scary. However, this mud run is not as intense. It's a lot smaller. There are different varying distances that you can choose, and we really, really would like to encourage everyone a part of this group to be a part of this experience as our celebration of your commitment to the
We're
fitness.
asking, requesting, and encouraging, and maybe pressuring you into signing up. Not really, but it's a mud run / obstacle course. We'll send out more details about that, but we really encourage everyone to sign up for this event. It's very inexpensive, very affordable, and then hopefully a couple groups of us will travel. It's up in Humble, Texas, or Humble, I guess, if you're from Texas. Sometimes I keep getting criticized for my Midwestern Chicago and Illinois accent. But it's on December 1st to give you guys kind of a placeholder, save the date. We'll talk more about that at our first gathering, but it's a culminating event, and the reason I use that word is because I want us to have something as a group, kind of within our small corporate environment that we're working toward, but then each of us individually is working within our small group to increase our health and fitness. So those are the four things that we want you guys, that you guys can expect, but that we want you guys to accomplish through being in this group. We hope this group influences you to grow closer in your individual walk with God. We hope to take you one step further in your health and wellness. We want you to have a very abundant, very positive, small group experience of your own within our group that has kind of the health and fitness theme. But then we also want everyone in the group, and you can please invite others as well.
Yes.
I've talked with the pastor at the church. I don't remember the name of the church, First Christian Church. But he's super great, very, very nice, humble guy. He would love to see a group from our church. There's another group from Webster, I believe, a church that I think it's more of a multicultural church that goes up there, that went up there last year and had a blast, and they are already returning about 35 or so people. And so we'd love to see about 20 is the number that we would love to see that go to this event. I believe Pastor Scott has semi-committed. I'll have to remind him. There may be one schedule conflict, which is that the Freedom groups may be doing their conference that weekend. That would be the only event that would cause us to reschedule that event. Nonetheless, we are going to do something at the end as a culmination of our group. So stay tuned for a couple things. Number one is a schedule of events for both the women and the men. There'll be separate schedules. Some of the events will overlap. And then number two, information about that culminating event that we're hoping everyone decides to sign up for, and bring some family members and friends along as well.
All right.
Is there anything else?
No, we're just so excited that you guys are here, and we really hope that you guys get, anything and everything out of this group that you want to get out of it, and we're always here for you guys.
Yep. So if you need anything, send us a message, email, text, preferably through CCB. Our phones are always open for any questions about anything, and our first group event will be on Saturday, the 29th. Saturday in the morning time frame, 29th. More details to come. We love you guys. Thank you so much.
Bye.
See ya.
We'll see you soon.